to Poland now, where a Warsaw court has overturned a ban on a far-right march to mark 100 years of Polish independence. The demonstration is now scheduled for Sunday. The mayor of Warsaw had initially banned the march, saying the city had suffered enough due to aggressive nationalism. In previous years, the rally has attracted tens of thousands of people, including far-right groups from across Europe. There had also been racist and anti-Semitic chants and banners there. Well, to discuss this more with me, I'm joined by Alistair Sanford, who's in the studio. Alistair, there's been a fair amount of confusion over the preparations of this kind of Independence Day rally. Can you walk us through what's been happening?
Yes, well, over the past decade, Isabel, the far-right presence has been increasingly prominent in these Independence Day marches. Now, thousands of ordinary Poles do turn out waving their national flags, and they say this is just normal expressions of patriotism. But there are elements that have been increasingly xenophobic and racist. Far-right groups have been involved in the organising of these marches. They include the likes of the National Radical Group, National Movement, and All Polish Youth. So it's led to fears this time of even more open expressions of extremism, potential clashes. This year, of course, is the centenary of Polish independence and, of course, the end of World War I. It's feared that all that could be overshadowed. The government have been talking to the organisers, trying to get them to tone down their expressions, if you like, but there was no agreement, and so that led to the mayor of Warsaw, Hanna Gronkiewicz-Waltz, who's from the opposition Civic Platform Party, to step in and say this week she was going to ban the march, citing a security risk. The government at that point said it would hold its own more inclusive march along the same route. Now the local court in Warsaw has overturned the city's ban on the march, citing the constitutional right to freedom of assembly. The organisers had said they would defy it anyway. Now, of course, they're claiming victory, saying the march is going to go ahead.
And Alistair, the government itself is conservative and nationalist. Where does it stand in all of this? We get the impression that Poland's reputation is kind of becoming increasingly on the line.
Well, we just have to look at the images to see how striking these expressions are, really, especially last year, 60,000 people, many racist and xenophobic slogans. It doesn't look good for Poland's image abroad. And the far-right activists also they're attracted from other parts of Europe. These neo-Nazi elements are clearly visible with their slogans. They have been condemned by government officials. The leader of the ruling PiS Law and Justice party, Jarosław Kaczyński, condemned it last year, saying Polish tradition has nothing to do with racism or anti-Semitism. But the government and the ruling party is under the spotlight. And of course, as you know, yes, it is at odds with Europe over things like migration and the rule of law. Its attitude to the march has been ambiguous in the past. The Interior Minister was quoted last year as saying the rally was a beautiful sight. Now there are signs of a harder stance. The President and the Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki, he's been particularly harsh, saying we will not accept these groups in Poland under any circumstances. And now that the march is going to go ahead, we will try to eliminate extremist banners and the police will move in. It's not clear now if there's going to be two marches or if the two are going to merge into one, but certainly what is true is that Poland's international image is being closely watched, and there is, of course, a risk of trouble that could overshadow these other important events that are being planned all over the country.